Picture the modern battlefield. It's no longer about fighter jets, dogfighting like in the old movies. Today, the skies are filled with cheap kamikaze drones, terrain-hugging cruise missiles, and hypersonic threats raining down from the atmosphere. These threats are incredibly fast, precise, and completely unpredictable. The ultimate question for militaries worldwide right now is what kind of shield do we put up to stop them and protect our airspace and the people on the ground? What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today, I'm taking you on a deep dive into two of the world's most advanced air defense systems that everyone is talking about and every military wants to get their hands on. We're looking at the VL MICA from France and the Barak MX from Israel. These are two weapons tech superpowers that built their defense systems on completely different philosophies. And on top of that, later in this video, we're going to break down exactly why the Royal Thai Air Force recently dropped roughly $107 million to bring the Barak MX into their arsenal. Let's rewind a bit to the origins of the VL MICA, or Vertical Launch MICA, from the European defense giant MBDA. Its foundation is actually brilliantly simple but incredibly effective. They took the air-to-air missiles usually mounted under the wings of Mirage or Rafale fighter jets, stood them upright, and launched them from the ground or from naval ships. This concept turned the VL MICA into a short to medium-range air defense system, famous for its insane agility. What makes this French system so lethal is that it packs two different types of seekers into the exact same launch system: an active radar seeker that hunts targets using radio frequencies, and an imaging infrared seeker that locks onto heat signatures. Having both options in one launcher makes it a nightmare for the enemy to predict. Let's say an enemy jet tries to deploy flares or jam the radar signal, the missile using the heat seeker will just punch right through that interference and hit the target with deadly accuracy. Plus, it's a true fire and forget system. The second the missile clears the tube, the main ground radar can instantly start scanning for the next target. This makes it absolutely phenomenal at handling simultaneous multi-directional threats, what we call a saturation attack. Meanwhile, if we look across the globe to the Middle East, Israel is a country that faces real-world aerial threats on a daily basis. Through IAI, they gave birth to the Barak MX. Israel's design philosophy here is entirely different. They didn't just look at building a single weapon, they looked at air defense as an operating system, a highly adaptable platform. The Barak MX is built on a super flexible modular architecture. Think of it like a smartphone where you can just download different apps based on what you need. This system uses a single command and control center, C2, but it can plug into a variety of different radars. And the real game changer? It can fire 3 different sizes of Interceptor missiles from the exact same system: the MRAD for short range, the LRAD for medium range, and the ER for taking down targets at extreme ranges. This is pure Israeli engineering brilliance, allowing a military to scale its defense perfectly to match both the threat level and their budget without ever having to buy a whole new system. To make this easier to visualize, I've put together a spec comparison covering the key tech data, deep dive specs, and estimated budgets based on recent real-world deals. Let's check out the data. Looking at that table, the specs are pretty mind-blowing, especially when you look at the maneuverability and radar systems. The VL MICA is notorious for being an absolute beast in close-quarters engagements. Thanks to its thrust vector control, or TVC, the missile can basically do a backflip, pulling high G turns up to 50 Gs. Working in sync with its cutting-edge radar, there's hardly a fighter jet or cruise missile out there that can shake it off. But the Barak MX is no slouch either. Not only do its missiles fly further and tolerate high G-forces, but the radars paired with the system are world-class at scanning and locking onto targets at extreme distances. But wait a second, guys. With all this god-tier hardware, take a look at the very bottom row of that table. That is the cost per intercept. Both the VL MICA and the Barak LRADR average around $1.5 to $2 million per missile. This right here is the biggest challenge of modern warfare. Imagine the enemy sends a swarm of cheap kamikaze drones costing maybe a few $1,000s each. Hitting a cheap drone with a $2 million missile is a massive, painful tactical loss. This is exactly why the fire control systems and the AI processing from both of these manufacturers have to be incredibly smart. They have to calculate if a target is a genuine threat or just a decoy, ensuring these ultra-expensive interceptors are saved only for the high-value targets that actually matter. And to achieve that next-level intelligence, we have to talk about the eyes and brains of these systems, because a multi-million-dollar missile is just an expensive piece of metal without an excellent radar and command center. The VL MICA usually pairs up with a 3D AESA radar, like the Thales Groundmaster 200, which can be fully deployed and combat-ready in just 15 minutes. That is ultimate mobility. On the other side, the Barak MX comes with the ELTA EMMR radar family, sharing the same DNA as the legendary Iron Dome system. These radars don't just track targets, they feed into an AI brain in the command center to perform data fusion. In a fraction of a second, the AI calculates exactly where the target is heading, its threat level, and tells the system exactly which launcher to use and which missile to fire for the most cost-effective and accurate kill. This is the future of warfare, network-centric warfare, where battles aren't just won with explosives, but with processing chips and algorithms. Beyond the tech, the hidden factor that drives military acquisitions is geopolitics. The massive global advantage for the VL MICA is that it is 100% European. This means it's completely free from US ITAR restrictions. Simply put, once France sells it to you, they don't really interfere with where you deploy it or who you shoot it at. On the flip side, Israel's geopolitical strength is their willingness to share tech. Israel is very open to technology transfers, allowing buying nations to participate in manufacturing or even sharing parts of the source code to integrate with local systems. For countries looking to build long-term self-reliance, that is an offer that's incredibly hard to refuse. Now, if we look at the global map to see who is actually buying these systems, the strategic picture gets really interesting. Starting with the VL MICA, its European reliability has made it a massive hit with global navies, especially here in Southeast Asia. Singapore, Malaysia, Indonesia, and the Royal Thai Navy all use VL MICA on their frigates. They also have huge clients in the Middle East, like the UAE and Saudi Arabia. The Barak MX side is just as impressive. Their biggest client outside of Israel is India, who actually partnered with Israel to co-develop the tech, turning it into India's primary air defense system. Colombia is another buyer, but the most fascinating one is Morocco. Morocco is super interesting because they went all in and bought both the French VL MICA and the Israeli Barak MX to use together, creating a massive multi-layered defense shield that covers every possible range. Let's move on to the major highlight of why several countries, including the Royal Thai Air Force most recently, decided to go with the Barak MX. A lot of people are probably wondering, with a budget of $107 million, what exactly did the Thai military get in return? While exact missile counts are always a tightly kept tactical secret, based on the standard configuration of one battery, which includes a radar, a command center, and 3 to 4 launchers, we can estimate that the RTAF is likely getting somewhere around 30 to 40 missiles in this initial batch. Given the regional threat landscape, that's a very solid starting point for readiness. But what Thailand is really getting isn't just rockets, they are getting a system built for the future. The LRAD interceptors can wipe out threats up to 70 kilometers away, and if they want to upgrade to the ER version later, that umbrella expands to 150 kilometers. Placed near a strategic airbase, it doesn't just protect the runway, it covers a massive geographical area. The real selling point for Thailand was the Barak MX's powerful network architecture. The military can seamlessly share target data from their existing radars and C2 systems, like their Link-T network, straight into the Barak MX's command center. So this isn't just buying rockets to park outside a base. It's a true upgrade into a fully integrated air defense system. At the end of the day, in this clash between two world-class air defense systems, there is no absolute definitive winner. It completely depends on the operational doctrine of the country using it. If you're a military that needs a fast-moving, aggressive, unjammable point defense system, the French VL MICA is the right answer. But if your goal is to build a regional air defense network, if you want weapon flexibility, and if you're looking for a platform that will grow and integrate with your legacy systems, the Barak MX is a highly intelligent long-term investment, which the Royal Thai Air Force just proved with this latest deal. So to everyone watching, what are your thoughts? Do you think the Royal Thai Air Force's decision to invest $107 million in the Barak MX was the right move and worth the money? Let me know your reasons and let's discuss in the comments down below. I'll be reading them as always. If you guys enjoyed this kind of deep dive, trend tracking military tech content, don't forget to hit that like button, share, and subscribe to support the channel. That's all for me for today. I'll see you guys in the next video.